Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visite suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Unsere Sendungen bieten viele Sprachen. Gehen Sie auf suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Plastic is a classic case of how we are capable of turning every blessing that we have into a curse upon ourselves. Due to irresponsible usage, plastic has become one of the most serious challenges in the ecological sphere.
Plastic pollution, its consequences for rivers and oceans. Part 1 of 3. Continue watching to find out more.
Zdravo means hello in Croatian. I'm Leona. The people of Croatia thank you for the respect you show towards Mother Earth and for everything you do to save her precious resources. Welcome to part 1 of our 3-part series, Plastic Pollution, its consequences for rivers and oceans. On today's program, we'll examine the global issue of plastic pollution and learn how the problem began. The production of plastic is relatively new. The first manufacture only began during the 1940s. However, the world quickly embraced this remarkable new material when its numerous benefits were realized. What makes plastic so desirable? It has many advantages. It is inexpensive, lightweight, strong, and durable, and can be formed into virtually any shape. As a result, manufacturers soon discovered a myriad of uses for this new wonder material. Over the ensuing decades, we have become increasingly reliant on plastic in many aspects of our lives. If we look around us, we'll see that we are surrounded by plastic. We find it in grocery bags, cups, straws, lids, water bottles, food containers, and virtually every kind of packaging. Our cell phones, toothbrushes, shampoo bottles, children's toys, furniture, and even much of our clothing are all made of plastic. Plastic is even widely used in transportation. 20% of private vehicles can be composed of plastic, while Boeing's recently developed Dreamliner jumbo jet will consist of 50% plastic by weight. Scientists discovered so many uses for the material that we started producing it in vast quantities. Since the development of plastic products began, we have produced approximately 8.3 billion tons of the material globally. While plastic is wonderfully strong and durable, it is also an environmental hazard for the same reason. This is so because non-biodegradable forms of plastic take hundreds of years to break down. According to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, a plastic water bottle requires 450 years to decompose. One of the greatest threats our oceans face today is plastic pollution. The U.S. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration estimates that each year more than 8 million metric tons of plastic waste enter our rivers and oceans. This amount is the equivalent of placing 5 garbage bags of plastic trash along every foot of coastline around the world and then pushing the bags into the ocean. And what makes the problem even more serious is that once plastic enters water, its decomposition becomes even slower. It can remain submerged for hundreds or even thousands of years and does not rot or leave the environment. It simply breaks down into smaller and smaller pieces. Any piece of plastic smaller than 5 millimeters in length, about the size of a pencil eraser, is called a microplastic, of which there are 3 sources. The primary one being the breakdown of larger plastic items. Another source is the microbeads found in some soaps and lotions. A third source is clothing made of synthetic fibers, such as fleece, acrylic, and polyester items. Each time these clothes are washed, millions of microplastic pieces are shed into the wash water and soon make their way into our rivers and oceans. Moreover, the vast extent of environmental damage caused by plastic is raising concern, particularly with regard to marine animals. The United Nations estimates that plastic causes the deaths of up to 1 million water birds every year. Dr. Jennifer Lavers, a marine scientist from the University of Tasmania, devotes her life to the study of seabirds. Dr. Lavers has been growing increasingly concerned about the medium-sized seabirds known as shearwaters because of the amount of plastic these birds ingest along their 30,000 kilometre migratory routes. On Lord Howe Island near Australia, Dr. Lavers discovers a dead shearwater on the beach and carries the bird back to her lab to determine the cause of death. As Dr. Lavers analyzes the contents of the bird's stomach, she discovers 234 pieces of plastic inside and says,
Absolutely no doubt that this bird died as a result of that plastic. That is literally a gut full of plastic. It's quite alarming, isn't it?
We'll take a moment now to listen to an important message and be right back. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television. Thoughtful viewers, welcome back to our program. According to the World Wildlife Fund, WWF, 100,000 marine mammals, such as whales, dolphins, porpoises, seals, and sea lions, die each year from plastic pollution. Among the animals of major concern are whales. In 2017, a dead Cuvier's-beaked whale was discovered on the beaches of Norway after having ingested 30 single-use plastic bags. In 2019, a dead pregnant sperm whale washed up on a beach in Sardinia, Italy. When her stomach was opened, researchers discovered 22 kilograms of plastic waste, including plastic fishing lines, plastic bags, plastic pipes, and even plastic dinner plates. Dr. Luca Bitto, a marine biologist and president of SEAM, Sardinia, says,
I never saw such a big quantity of plastic. It was like our usual life was there, but inside the stomach.
Also, at the United Nations, apprehension is growing about the amount of plastic in our waterways. Dr. Peter Thompson, the United Nations Special Envoy for the Ocean, says,
As a Pacific Islander, I know that the ocean is in deep trouble. There's an equivalent of a large garbage truck every minute of every day backing up to the ocean and just dumping plastic into it. We really have to look at ourselves and say, do we deserve this beautiful ocean that was given to us?
The Reverend Yogi Sadhguru, an internationally renowned spiritual teacher and founder of the non-profit organization Isha Foundation, has frequently spoken about the dangers of plastic pollution and recently joined forces with the United Nations Environment Programme, UNEP, to raise awareness of this issue.
Plastic is a classic case of how we are capable of turning every blessing that we have into a curse upon ourselves. Due to irresponsible usage, plastic has become one of the most serious challenges in the ecological sphere.
8 million tons of plastic end up in oceans every year. Plastic makes up 10% of all the waste we generate. 1 million plastic bottles bought each minute. 500 billion plastic bags used each year. 67% of fish species in California are contaminated with plastic. 94% of US tap water, 93% of bottled water contaminated by microplastics.
They are saying by 2050 there could be more plastic in the oceans than the fish. Above all, plastic is even getting into vegetables and everything, so it's getting into our system.
Why has it taken the world so long to realize the enormity of this situation? One of the main reasons is that plastic has a density greater than that of water, so it typically sinks below the surface of the water and is thus out of sight. According to the Ocean Conservancy, what we see floating on the surface is just 5% of the plastic pollution in the ocean, and the other 95% is lurking below the surface. Once it enters the ocean, plastic can travel for thousands of miles, carried by currents. For example, in a 2019 study of Cocos, Keeling Islands, a territory of Australia located in the Indian Ocean, scientists reported finding more than 414 million pieces of plastic, including 370,000 toothbrushes. The Cocos Islands are home to only 500 people, so virtually all of this trash arrived from the rest of the world. The ocean has now formed its own garbage dumps. The ocean has 5 major gyres, or large rotating currents. Through their circular action, these gyres act like giant garbage collectors, drawing in plastic waste. The most serious of them is the Great Pacific Garbage Patch in the North Pacific between Hawaii and California. In 2018, the Ocean Cleanup, a non-government engineering environmental organization based in the Netherlands, conducted extensive research in the Great Pacific Garbage Patch and discovered that it extends over 1.6 million square kilometers, an area 3 times the size of France, and contains 1.8 trillion pieces of plastic. It is the largest accumulation of plastic garbage on the planet. What items are most frequently found in the ocean? Marcus Ericsson, co-founder and research director of 5 Gyres Institute, explains.
What's leaving land, heading out to sea, is all this single-use packaging. It's the straws, the bags, the bottles, the cup lids, the stir sticks, all this junk that we use once and throw away.
What can we do about this ever-growing problem? What are some of the most promising solutions? Compassionate viewers, thank you for your company today. Please join us again next Monday for plastic pollution and its consequences for rivers and oceans, part 2 of 3, as we continue our exploration. May all of Earth's inhabitants soon enjoy a pristine planet as we move ever closer to a noble, compassionate vegan world.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/PE.